Hello and welcome to this Studio Brutal video. Here I'm going to show you how you can make this techno sequence you can hear in the background. It's made in Ableton 12 with the new step sequencer and some LFO tools. You can see it moving there. Raw, the new distortion, delay, the nice hybrid reverb thing with the convolution, and operator at the center of the patch. So yeah, that's it. I'll show you how I made it and what the macros do, and then I'm just going to give this away anyway as a rack. So you can you don't have to make it yourself. You can just download this and then use it basically, and I'll show you how to use it. So yeah, before we get going, if you can, please like and subscribe, or just give us a like. It just really helps us out. So yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, basically this patch it's using pitch here. It's a 5-note sequence. Again, most techno sequences you want it to be short to get that rolling feel. Then on the octave row, I like this, got this octave row, so you can just jump it up a whole octave. You want these to be different basically, so that so you get some high pitch notes and some not. I'll take that out. It still sounds cool, but you get these because it's got this gliding this glide on it. You get these big sort of pitch wubs when there's a big change in pitch. So yeah, that's why I've got different values in the octave one. Velocity, I love velocity. You can see one of these is moving on its own. It's modulated. I'll go through that in a minute. But the velocity channel is really cool. It's like having a separate step sequencer to modulate what you want, as long as it can be modulated by velocity. And then you can just control loads of stuff in operator with velocity and with this lane. And then length is they're all different lengths, so you get a bit of movement in the sequence. And you can see the length is changing on step 2, and that is with there's 3 LFO tools here, and they're all set up to slightly move stuff, so you get this sort of hypnotic techno sequence, but it's slightly moving. It's constantly changing. The length of step 2 is changing. If I whack it up, you can hear it changing more. And then this one changes the FM amount on operator. It makes it really bleepy and drags it out of tune, but I've tamed it down a bit. And then this one is step 5. How much velocity is in step 5? You can hear it, and that's affecting all the modulation that uses velocity on step 5. So yeah, that's the sequencer, and that's the LFO tools. They're really nice. They're just basically moving it slowly in the background. One is on a 2-bar loop, 3-bar loop, and 1.5-bar loop. So they're constantly changing, and they constantly keeping the sequence moving. The operator patch is real simple. It's 3. If I switch it off, it's 3 sine waves, just detuned a bit, all the same basically, but then pulled out of tune. C and A are detuned a bit, one up, one down, so you get a detuned bleep. And then you can see the routing options, this little Tetris thing down here. That means that D is doing FM, and you can see the level they're moving. I don't know if you can see that. It's moving from that LFO tool, so the FM amount is constantly changing a little bit. And then on operator, I've got loads of stuff modulating velocity, anything that sort of can change by velocity. So this, what's important is this D, which is the FM thing, the FM source, is it's got loads of little things changing from velocity. The time, which is the envelope length. Velocity there is turned up 75%, and here this changes the pitch. It's quantized, so it's supposed to be in key a bit, but so this means that the FM operator is changing all the time. It's getting longer and shorter, and getting out of tune according to this row here. So if I change it here, what can I change it? It's just changing the F. You can hear that. So you can change the sequence a lot by moving these velocities, and so for every note you can get a lot of movement. And then so step 5 is moving on its own here, with the LFO tool, so you're just getting a load of movement in the sequence and then over time as well because of the LFO things. And the filter, as I do with most of these sequences, has the length and will change with velocity, and so will the frequency. So the higher these notes, the more the note will poke through the sequence, will poke through the filter as well, and the more out of tune they'll be in, because the FM thing will change as well. And yeah, and then that's moving with the LFO tool. So you've got like a bleepy sequence, but it's totally changing all the time. And obviously you can change that, the depth on the LFOs and the rates as well. And then it is basically the sound is being processed by one of these raw units. It's only using one stage just to do basic distortion. It's using that shards thing. If I turn it up, it gets nasty. It's really cool, this distortion unit. I've set some stuff up on the macros to control parts of it as well, including the feedback amount, which is really nice. It can be in key, so you can make the feedback go into a delay tone, but you can make that tone be in key, which I've done here. It's not feeding back much at the moment. If I turn it up, where is it here? That's without feedback. You can hear it's got a slight ring to it, so it's quite a cool effect. Then there's delay, which is just giving it a rhythmic delay. It's a little bit off. I've made a bit of error, so the left is a bit short and the right is a bit long, so you get a bit of a stereo wideness to it, because I don't really want it to really like the ping pong delay so much. So the rhythmic delay, there's not ping pong, but it does have some left right because I've made the channel errors here. But it's mainly just pumping in sync. And then I've used a hybrid reverb, which I really like here. It models this, the Berliner Hall. It's quite a nice setting. And also another thing here which you can modulate, which I haven't set up in the macros, is feedback on this reverb. You can get some quite cool tones there. And then that's it. It's just pulled down in volume at the end because it got loud. Yeah, and that's it. That's the patch. But I've set all the important ones up here, which on the macros, which I'll run through now. And these are what you want to automate, basically, like with all my other patches. The main ones are set up here, so you can just put these on a MIDI controller and go. So time, I always use this if I've got operator. It basically makes all the envelopes and all the timings for everything shorter. So you can start off with just almost nothing, and you can take it to 0%, and then you can push it to 100% more, which is awesome. That's just such a cool effect. Then I've got filter, frequency and resonance. And resonance can get really weird. And then I've set up so every single oscillator, the release is set up to here. If I turn the filter or frequency up, the filter cut up, and then turn this up, you'll hear it. It'll basically turn it into a long tone. That's quite cool for little builds. Then FM detune is the fine tune on D, so it'll pull it out of tune, the FM out of tune. Get sort of these alien sort of Jeff Mills type. You know what I mean? There's Something in the Sky records, that sort of detuned FM sound. And then this one is this just controls velocity on steps 1 and 4. So if I turn it up, you'll see these two steps go up and down. And so by moving them, it's quite a cool thing to tweak. Then raw, that's just the drive on the distortion. It's a real nice distortion there. And then there's a load of more. There's another 3 more settings on raw that's set up here. The shaper, for distorting the sound. And then there's the feedback. Used for a build, it can be too much, but it's quite a cool effect. And then that's the wet dry mix, so you can take it off. It'll be all the way sort of distorted. Then here are the delay settings and the reverb settings, which you can use as like to make little builds like that. Also, you can change the sort of rhythm of the delay by moving it one way or the other. Not the feel of it, by making it more wet than dry. Then the reverb decay, which is quite a nice build, especially if you use it in conjunction with that feedback that I've showed you before on the reverb unit, and that's reverb mix, which can be used as a sort of effect as well. So yeah, that's it. That's all the macros. That's what they do. If you haven't got the sequencers on Ableton 12, definitely go download them. This free update. They're so good for this type of music. And yeah, you can download this. This is in the description below. You just go and get it. It's totally free. Yeah, if you've got any questions about it, please let me know in the comments or message me on the blog. So yeah, that's it from me. I hope you find this useful. I hope you can find use for this in your music. And yeah, good luck with your music making. Have a good day. Take care. Goodbye.